Alright, what's going on, everyone? Today is the day we begin to rework the chemistry engine. I gotta think smart about how I want to do this. I gotta do, like, the thinking thing, right? But, like, smartly. That's the plan. I already have, like, a loose outline of what I want to implement. Today, we're actually going to figure out exactly, in terms of the code, how it is to be done. So, yeah, and as far as thinking smartly about it goes, I gotta implement something quick so I can start testing things. Like, I don't want to build the entire system all at once and then have to test every single issue, every single error, like, independently. I want to test in chunks. So that's probably going to look like immediately implementing one of the, I forget what they're called, like forms. I might change the terminology. We'll see. But, there was, like, the weather form. Okay, tile form. Yeah, we might start with a rigid body form and then get one of those in the game and then, like, sort of go from there. So that way, you know, I'll already have a node in the game that will be running the logic, and I can test things in chunks. That is the plan. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of what ifs, and I am pretty confident we're not going to be able to finish this today. Although, you know what? My time estimations tend to not be that accurate. Maybe I need to think harder to procure an accurate time estimate. Yeah, let me run the editor. We're going to organize this well from the start. Is there any way I could, like, simplify this? Yeah, I don't know. We don't have any entry for energy yet. But it says here that elements store energies. I think everything we'll just make is like a ref counted. Everything will inherit from ref counted. And then at some point we'll have like a node. Something that extends from a node type. Although I don't know if I want to, like, do I want to have the forms be the form integrators? The only reason I'm not doing that is because of the inheritance. Like, visual consequences. Yeah, it would be nice to have some sort of type that these all inherit from. But could these all be nodes? You know what? These might all be able to be nodes. However, we wouldn't be able to, like, inherit from rigid body for rigid body form. So, you know, that could work. We could make the forms node, inherit from node, or, like, node 2D, probably. And then everything else inherits from that. That could work. Yeah. Alright. Let's do that. Because I don't want to have to, like, implement this extra thing here just to, like, attach everything together. But a lot of this stuff might change, like, once we start to try and visualize different reactions. Oh, I should have looked into, how Scribblenauts does its visual effects. I don't think they do anything too complicated in Scribblenauts. Like, sometimes they'll just apply some sort of overlay. Maybe add, like, another item onto the original item. Get my stream manager open. Oh my goodness. Wait. Okay, I didn't run the... I'm gonna run the first ad break. So I can get that out of the way. I forgot once again to... turn the ad manager on. So I can extract money from the viewers. Alright, we need a folder for this. Should I put it in scene? I mean, we have tiles here, which is also, like, related to the scene in some way. I don't know if I like this, scene folder here. I'm gonna add it here. Wait, do I already have a chemistry folder somewhere? I think right now we're doing it through status effects. And I'm kind of wondering how status effects might integrate into the system. I think they can work together, but I might be able to, like, merge them in some smart way. What's up, the fan wiggles? Welcome. Yeah, I'll just make a chemistry folder. Chemistry. Maybe I'll even make, like, a chemistry manager script. Can you see my PFP? It's very small. Let me look in the browser version. Hold on. I'm gonna assume it's the Wiggles. It is the fan. Oh, the fan Wiggles. Wait, is that a? Is the original one called the fan Wiggles? Or is that your modified name? Oh yeah, the Wiggles. Okay, so you have a custom logo. That's cool. Nice. We're gonna start with forms. I kind of like the name forms. Could I call them nodes maybe? No, I'm gonna call them forms. Because usually node types don't have node in the name. The Wiggles is the band from Australia. My YouTube name is the Fan Wiggles. Yeah. So it is like a custom logo. Because you added the fan. It looks good. I'm going to call this... What am I going to call this? Right, let's start... Well, do we have to do the rigid body form? Or do we want to call it something else? Because technically this might be applicable to not just rigid bodies. However, I kind of like the standardization there with, like, the physics incorporation. So I think I am going to call it rigid body form. Extends node 2D. Class name, rigid body form. Do I have... Wait, why am I making them nodes? Why am I doing that? Like, I know it was to integrate things easier, but I might be able to do that without nodes. If you couldn't tell where the background is from, it's from the song Play Your Guitar with Murray from Whoop-De-Doo, It's a Wiggly Party. I did not know. Thank you for telling me. Hold on, I gotta see the background. I gotta see the artistic direction here. Need to analyze. Oh, I see. It's like a spiral projected onto the lower corner of a wall where like the floor meets the wall. That's what it's reminding me of. Colors are nice. I remade the background. Oh, I see. Do you have any do you have any plans for the channel? Are you gonna just post community stuff, or do you plan to are you gonna make it like a Wiggles honorary, like Wiggles Center for Wiggles fans to enjoy Wiggles information? Like kind of like Jamrock Hobo for Disco Elysium. It's interesting how entire like channels can be made off of a single IP. I guess there's just a lot to talk about like everything. Yeah, so do I actually want to create this as a form or a node type, or do I want to do something else? I tried making a video, but I have to record myself on Roblox as Greg, Murray, Anthony, and Jeff, so I gave up with the video idea. Well, there's always the future for new ideas, to make new ideas, if you want. Yeah, I mean, I could make these as nodes, but then I'm gonna have to have, like, nodes everywhere. Like, on all of the enemies and stuff, potentially. Although we already have, like, collision shapes and stuff, maybe we can think of it that way. I suppose. And then we can just connect, like, whatever functionality we want. Yeah, okay. Is there a function for entering the tree? Your tree. Or do I want to use ready for that? We are going to parent the form directly to the rigid body for this. Oh, you know what? We have to make the root type as well. So let me duplicate this script. Var rigid body 2D. I might be able to do on ready. I think I'll do it here though, because we're not going to be like putting this in a scene, or maybe, but not necessarily. Rigid body equals get parent. I also have 4 accounts named Greg Wiggle, Murray Wiggle, Anthony Wiggle, and Jeff Wiggle, aka the Wiggles. By the way, I can't put a space in between the names. Can't put a space in between the names. I'm assuming it didn't let you put a space for the account names. I thought you could put spaces in, like, Google account names. Huh, maybe not. Okay, let's get some sort of rigid body form added. Should we, or is it barrel time? Are we gonna make barrels now? Which, we probably want to make that a 3D model, but then it's gonna have to, like, synchronize with everything. which kind of means we need a better synchronization system for like 3D things. How are we doing that for the enemies? Oh, Roblox usernames, I see. I still technically want to rename this to like character and not necessarily enemy. What was I looking for again? Right, how we synchronize the 3D side of things. Game data.g.world.get node. Add child root. Node 3D equals get node root. I mean, we can place down any scene with our tile system. We can save it and load it. Do you use Blender? I do. I wonder how we might save data in the tiles. Like the scene tiles. If I'm even doing that right now. I don't know that I necessarily am. Hmm. Okay, I should probably stop. I think that's probably making noise on the microphone. Can you please do a stream where you make the Wiggles logo into a 3D model? Probably not. That's not really like not something I'm as interested in. I think it'd be cool. I'd be cool if you did that. Wiggles logo into a 3D model. But I'm probably going to work on other things. Maybe in the future though, if I can create an interest within myself pertaining to the Wiggles. Why does that feel familiar? Do I know? Am I familiar with the Wiggles? I'm not sure. Wiggles? I feel like maybe. Hmm. I'm only good at making 2D images into 3D by using Photoshop. Learning Blender, like, you can learn one thing. You can learn how to do one thing relatively quickly. If you wanted to try and learn it, you could probably figure it out, but it would be a lot of trial and error. If you've like never used Blender before. But I mean, making just the logo into a 3D model, um, wouldn't be too challenging. Although I guess it's like a matter of what like quality standard you want for it. I'm gonna be doing a lot of thinking in this stream as I implement all this stuff. The example is my PFP that's 2D, but looks 3D because of the shading. I see. Well, I hope you're able to get a 3D model version that you can use if you want. I, I wish you success in that endeavor. Yes, we have the And also, yeah, like synchronizing the 3D stuff, I have to keep that in mind as well. Is there any way I would incorporate any sort of 3D physics in this? I don't know. Hmm. Okay, you know what? I think we're going to add something to game. I gotta like design things better. We need a reusable system to be able to um like attach 2D nodes to 3D nodes in the viewport. So I'm going to make a collection here and hold on. I think I need water. My voice is beginning to do strange things. um yeah, I'm gonna have a collection. Well, you know what? Also, with the game script, it's doing a lot of stuff. I probably want to break up the functionality into different scripts. So I'm gonna make a new folder called. Wait, maybe not. I do want all of the functions to be accessible through game. Well, I think it'll be easy enough to move if we need to at some point. I don't know if it'll be worth it right now. So yeah, variable. What do I want to call this? No, that's gonna get confused with multiplayer. Mapped nodes. That's going to be. Should make a class for this. Sure. And this will just be an array of node mappings. I think we'll put it here. Static function. Um, add node mapping. Node 2D. Oh, I also fixed all of the warnings, finally. Node 2D, which is a node 2D. Node 3D, node 3D, var m equals mapping dot new, node mapping. M dot node 2D equals node 2D. M dot node 3D equals node 3D. Then game data dot g dot mappings or mapped nodes dot append m. And then what we'll do in physics process is we'll go through all of those and set the position to be the same as the 2D node. Might be able to do that in process as well. It might be a bit slow though. And let me go to the enemy script for a second. How are we doing it here? root dot global position equals gamed 3D orthographic self dot origin. Okay. And there'll be parameters we can adjust on it later, like do we want to copy the rotation, that sort of thing. For now, we will just add the position. Okay, I'm in the complete wrong script. For mapping in mapped nodes, mapping dot node 3D dot global position equals the 3D orthographic position of the node 2D, and that should do the same thing. And now we just kind of have like a, unified system where we can do that. I should probably add one more thing. Yeah, we're gonna say node 2D dot on exiting, or like exiting, pre-exiting dot connect node 3D dot queue free, so that whenever we delete the node 2D, it'll just queue free the other one. Maybe I should, is there a way I can check specifically for freeing though? Because if we just like take it out temporarily, maybe that'll cause a problem. I don't know. I'm not sure. Node 3D dot queue free. It's probably fine for now. Go back to the enemy script. Root.global position equals game to 3D orthographic self.origin. Yes, no, that is obsolete now. But it also says if root.getParent is sub viewport. Wait, there is more we have to do. We have to actually add it to the root 3D. Or whatever it's called. That's probably being done in the start function, if I had to guess. Oh, and we have the behavior system. That's interesting. How is the behavior system going to interact with the chemistry system? I mean, they can be compatible, as parallel systems for sure. Like the behavior system is pretty refined, so I think we'll get a lot of bang for that buck. Yeah, here we go. Add child root. Child. Tree exiting dot connect on exit root dot queue free. Okay, so it's the same thing. So now we can get rid of all this. Go back to game. And here we're gonna say node 3D get parent remove child. Wait, what? Remove child node 3D. Do we not have a reference to the sub viewport, like as an export thing? Maybe not. You can kind of do the same thing though. Add node map. Okay. Let's do this before we rearrange the node layout. GameData.g.map nodes.append m. Mapping.new. Okay. This might work. Yeah, let me go to enemy now. And then where we would have the other stuff, I will add it here. Game dot add node mapping. And we might need like the ability to do like lookups at some point, at which point, we could switch to a dictionary if need be. I can't foresee a reason why we would have to do that though. Yeah, so root. Then what would be the 2D version again? I think we can say this or self. Self and then root. Let's see if the enemies are still working. Turn my audio up and on. We gotta make things look cooler. We need to increase the cool factor. I need to like give the dragon a better visual look. But I don't know if I want to do that through upgrades or have it be like that automatically. No, I should treat it like how I want it to exist in the game world. So when you start off as a lizard, you should look like a lizard. We have to make this look more lizard-like, and then the scales upgrade, we got to make that look more like scales. And it seems like the enemies are still working. Also, I fixed a bug off-stream where the 2D nodes were not aligning with the 3D skeleton bones. That's because of the adjustment I'd made in a previous stream where I'd lifted up the entire like armature. So I just went into Blender and lifted them like the actual mesh vertices instead of the whole node, and that fixed it. So now everything is aligned again, and the shadows are working. Honestly, I think I'm gonna lean in the direction of not having a creature creator as the upgrade system. Like, I think there is some unique charm to be had in like a different approach, like a more handcrafted approach. Um, Although to be honest, really the only difference is going to be in like the body shapes. I think it won't make too much of a difference on the gameplay. Like as long as we still have all the other cool upgrades, where you can do like the ability modification and stuff like that, then it should be fine. Although we might need to make some sort of procedural mesh systems anyways, so I can like attach different parts like wings and stuff like that. That might be something I have to worry about. We could use pins though. We could just use like 2D pins. That might work. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. There's so many ways to do it. Also, these biomes are kind of boring. Like, it's literally just a field of rocks. I gotta start actually making the biomes interesting. Like, clutter, foliage, structures, things to do, animals. We should add animals soon. What would be the first animal we add? Okay, I'm getting excited now. Um, let's get back to the boring stuff. All right, come on. Game.add node mapping self root. Okay, so it works. The thing that we just tested works. Now, as for the barrel, do I want to treat the barrel like an enemy, or do I want to create some sort of like other thing? I don't know. Hmm. What's up, Fabio? White blends with the number on the top right. Probably should add shadow contour to the numbers. You are correct. You are correct. That is something I should do. I think I'm also getting a better idea of the vibe of the game. I made some music for it. Um, Very much like Skyrim. It's very Skyrim-like in its setting, kinda. Or like Valheim, Skyrim. I guess I don't. I guess it would be like a Nordic setting. I don't know what the the words are. I don't study these intense fantasy subjects. Um, what are some other good I guess it would be just like a Nordic thing, vibe, aesthetic. But at the same time, I want like the castles, you know? I want the like stereotypical looking fantasy castles. So maybe like a vampire. I don't like. That's gonna be too futuristic though. What is the earliest period a vampire can reasonably exist and still be cool? With like the big castle and the cloak and everything. Maybe the setting should be like the 1500s in terms of technology levels. Maybe we'll settle on something like that. I don't know. It's a fantasy world. What am I talking about? We can do any mix mash of anything ever. Cain, Abel's Brothers, a vampire, and some RPG games. Let me look this up. Inspiration incoming. Oh, I see. So it's like it looks like a more general mythological character. Could be helpful. Maybe it looks like maybe it is a very prehistoric kind of vampire character. In terms of like the technology level. Prehistoric technology. I'm thinking I might just want to make like a series of nodes that just translate the visuals onto a rigid body. What does enemy inherit from? Does it inherit from rigid body? It might. It does. Okay. Scene, characters, base. A barrel doesn't really need like an AI system necessarily, but how cool would it be if we standardized it so you could cast a spell and you can make a barrel act like an enemy or something, or like roll towards you. I don't know. Whatever it can do. There are things we can make out of this. Make the barrel grow legs and arms and start running towards the dragon. The possibilities are endless. Like a mimic. Like a barrel mimic. Interesting. Hold on. There's chest mimics. I've never heard of a barrel mimic, but it could be something similar. It's like... I don't even know if doing something like this is going to be remotely feasible. Like what I just said. But if I did add systems like that, players would be able to like create their own like creatures with different like arms and legs. I don't think I'm going to be able to add arms and legs to nodes as like a reaction unless I did some crazy sort of standardization thing. That'd be one feature though. That'd only be one feature. Mimics can be barrels conceptually, and I looked it up and it seems like there was some stuff that people had made. But like what this would mean is that you could also have like lantern mimics, rock mimics, mimics for anything. Anything could be a mimic then. They can have tentacles or just teeth. Yeah. Like to be clear, what I'm saying is have I don't even know if I'd add this, but have like a barrel, just an object like for clutter or whatever, and like the dragon will cast a spell, or the player, however you want to say it, will cast a spell on the barrel to make it alive, and it will grow arms and legs and become a mimic. And you could apply that spell to anything. Do I like how would I even do that, you know? It would be really cool if that was just like an emergent property of some sort of system you could make in a game. But like, how? That's so much. You would need a very robust sort of system for that. You'd have to like analyze the mesh, what would be like the best spot to add the legs. Yeah. We might be able to make it work in some more like uh less robust way or less procedural way. Like I could have some sort of item that is just arms and legs that extends outward from like a center point and then just like intersect that with the barrel and then just like call that done. Maybe. I don't know. I could do a hologram kind of effect so it doesn't have to be as integrated as well. I don't know. As I make the system, I'm gonna be able to figure out more of like the as I make the various systems, I'm gonna figure out more of like the things I can do with it. I mean, I planned so I could have some, minimum standard of things you can do, like with the hot air balloon. Um, but anything beyond that, like there's so many examples I can run through if I want to. Can't the barrel legs and arms stay behind its body until it starts to move? Maybe. It could. Nested behaviors, scene memory. Class name, enemy. Behavior, last behavior. Nested behaviors. We're gonna need to make some tweaks to our behavior system to have like profiles. I use that word a lot, but like profiles that can be used to supplement certain behaviors. So instead of having like a movement behavior for every single behavior that has a movement thing involved, it'll just defer to some sort of predefined export variable like up here or something. Scribblenauts does kind of do something similar because you can make like a flying book if you wanted to, or something like a book with wings. I don't know if it gives it wings, but you can make it like fly and it'll like animate itself. Trying to think about like how far I want to go with all of this. I think it'd be cool if I could shoot for a similar level of complexity to something like Scribblenauts. Or like slightly below. Maybe like my goal. They still have a few different behaviors like aggressive, indifferent, and afraid. Are you talking about Scribblenauts? Or are you proposing an idea for this game? Okay, Scribblenauts, yeah. Yeah, if I made every like object in the game inherit from some sort of common class, then I could do something like that. Like this behavior thing, I could move it up into or the yeah, I guess the behavior thing, I could move that up into a parent class and then the barrel will just have no behavior by default. Um but then if like some sort of spell was cast on it or something, it would then that'd be really fun. It would it would then start acting on that behavior. So I think I'll do that. Yeah. Then we have all this other stuff like death particle, essence value, rotation, snap, health, Death particle, rotation, snap, nested behaviors, dragon. Are we really using on ready variables for this? I kind of don't want to do that. Like anytime an enemy spawns, it has to recreate this value. Can I comment that out? Are we okay if I do that? No. Not really. Ranged enemy. It's probably being used in some of the behaviors somewhere, though. Shoot frequency, shoot distance, shoot radius. These could probably be behaviors. Okay, I guess we'll keep it for now. On ready variable tree, animation tree equals get node root / animation tree. Not all of them should have to have animation trees. Root equals get node root. Also, one sec. I think I have to. Yeah, let me adjust my fan. Scene memory. I forget what that is. Oh, right. That's like managing different types of memory for the AI. And it's shared between all instances of the scene. I forget what situations we're using that for. There's probably a situation where we use it, though. We don't even have pathfinding yet. Jeez. Gotta add that in soon. It might be a C++ endeavor. No, I don't know. Maybe to make like the A-star stuff, at least. Probably have to calculate that asynchronously. Because pathfinding can be pretty expensive. Trying to think of where the barrel fits into all of this. Alright, you know what? I think we're going to replace the idea of enemies with entities. Is there a replace in files? There is. I'm hoping it's going to do all of the files in the game. NPCs. Perhaps that's perhaps another term I could use, but if I'm going to use it for barrels, I'd probably use entity as the word. Whole words, yeah, probably. No undo. As long as it's actually replacing all of them. If hit.colliders, enemy continue. Okay, replace all, no undo. Match case will search only for E instead of E. Yeah, that's fine. Because it's a type name. And there might be like some local variable names that, you know, won't be affected at first, but we could try doing that if we want to. The following files are newer on disk. Keep local changes and overwrite, discard local changes and keep them. Keep the changes we made just now. I like did half yawn. Did it work? I don't know. Do that for every single one. Keep local changes and overwrite. Discard local changes and reload. I hope it's not going to make me do this for every single one. That can't be right. This might destroy all of our resources that relate to this stuff, though. Which would be fun. All of our scenes, that would be really cool. I would really like that. Don't make me do that for every single one. Come on. Should I save all? Why does it take so long if it's saving just a single file? I don't know what the hell is wrong with my build. Is it because it's on my slower hard drive? Maybe. Who knows? Okay, well let me like close this out. Can I save all? Okay, as long as enemies do not exist anymore. What? What? Did it actually replace in files? Search again to be sure they were indeed altered. Place in files. Enemy replace with entity. Why would it do that? It's not going to be just the scripts I've opened, right? I assume? Okay, keep local changes. 10 files now that were 13 before. Interesting. Well, I'm keeping the local changes. Do I have to press the other option? Discard that wouldn't make any sense. Okay, refresh. What? I must not be pressing the right option. Yeah, now it's 16 matches. Okay, replace everything. We're gonna try this option. Did that actually do it? Call this entity.gd now. Probably rename this folder to entities. Just gonna take, of course, 40 seconds. I'm analyzing. Okay, I'm also going to run the 3-minute ad break now. So, hold on. Did this work? Let me make sure it worked really quick. Could not find base class entity. What about now? Also, is this completely destroyed? Probably. It says extends entity, though. Maybe alter manually there are only 16 matches. Oh, you know, I think it fixed it now. Yeah, because I chose the different option, which didn't make any sense with the way it was worded. Which, as you know, if you click the one that doesn't make sense, it does the thing you want. Okay, I'm not seeing any export variables. That is a good sign. We have export variables here. I can see them. So I am not sure what's going on. I should try reopening the editor. And I will also be back in 3 minutes, because I'm going to run the break now. Is it going to go? Okay, I'll be back in 3 minutes. Alright, I think it's over. I think we're back. You have all survived. So do we have our export variables now? Okay, we do. Oh, and it actually preserved them, I think. Wait, no, these are default values. No? No, this is like a thing. I think. Yes, please, I hope. I really hope so. The essence value is 0, so that looks like it got reset. However, this one kind of seems fine. So I'm actually not too worried. Let's run the game and see if it, like, works. Probably gonna be the real test here. Yeah, this doesn't look very dragon-like, to be honest. It's just an extremely large lizard. Okay, well, it seems like everything's still working. I gotta improve the XP sound. That could be way more satisfying. Sounds like wind chimes. That could be good for, like, a wind chime sound effect, not for the XP. Also, I think the particle effect isn't bad, but it's a little too large. Like the individual particles. And also I want to have different colors depending on the action you do. Yeah. Um, Now let me remove the requirements for the animator. Like if I go back to enemy, or entity, as it is now called. Um, Tree. Oh my god, there's 22 occurrences. This is awful. Well, we should have planned with this in mind. Why we gotta plan ahead of time. Get tree.currency.addChild essence particle dot spawn pickup particle global position. Create tween property essence. Okay. All right. Even though this is kind of broken, this behavior here with the tweening. We should have like a target essence value or like a just separate the essence and the display value and like move them closer to one another. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that like right now. Get tree to create tween. Game data essence. Game data essence. Oh my god. No. Essence. Essence changed. Okay, essence changed dot emit. Yeah, so ideally we can just do something like this. Game data dot essence plus equals essence mount essence value. However, the way we reward essence should probably be done through some sort of or more organized event system so that we can add those things like, oh, if you eat berries, then you get the blue essence because you're chill like that, and thus you were rewarded accordingly. But if you kill a bunch of villagers and burn down the village, you get red essence because everyone knows red is angry. We all know this. I don't know, blue, like eating plants. What would eating plants actually be? I don't know how many different colors I want. Maybe like six major categories. But every individual action should have like its own, thing. But they can be in different categories. So like pacifist, offensive, uh mystery. You deduce some. You learn about different things. Cool factor. If you do a cool spin, you get points. I don't know. I'm gonna have to workshop it some more. Um, game data.essence plus equals essence value. So we do this, right? And then in somewhere, which is my favorite place. Where's the essence counter? Here, canvas. Essence changed? Okay, that's cool. Where do we control the essence value? I hope we're not doing that through game. I mean, we might be. Oh my god, we are. Crazy. Okay. We're gonna have another variable here. Display essence value. You don't have to worry about that anymore, actually. Essence counter.text. That's like the only thing we have to worry about. Essence changed. Why am I working on this right now? Okay, we don't need this. In physics process, we want to say display essence value, and then we're going to say display essence value plus equals something. We're going to use seal here. That's not signed though. Okay, display essence value plus equals display essence value, but actually subtract that from game data.essence times 0.1. Which kind of does something similar to like our velocity system in the upgrade menu. I probably didn't have to do this right now. But we should get properly awarded essence now. It shouldn't, like, the tweening won't mess it up. So we're, like, not adjusting the property directly. It might, the counter itself, though, might be slightly off, is the only thing. Okay, it's not doing anything. That's cool. Well, the value might be so small, or it just doesn't work. I guess we could use the sign for now. E delta does not equal 0. Do this stuff. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't necessarily think this should be in the game script. Okay, well, that's got to do something. Oh, but they don't have any essence value anymore. Right. Why not? Why? Okay, why did that value specifically? Okay, I set it. I set it to 5. Was I looking at something else before? I don't know. Probably not, because we had all the behaviors. Game data dot essence plus equals essence value. What? Restart. We're supposed to be making the animation part optional right now. Wait, what am I doing? I don't have to be here. I'll add some cool upgrades though. Also, there's this thing where the dragon spawns with the parts not in the right position. I tried to fix that before, but I was only doing it in the upgrade menu, and it didn't really work there. But it might work in the actual game. I just have to figure out what I want to do about all of that. No, it's still not working. We haven't even specified the type here. What the hell? God, how are we gonna get the layering? Like, how am I gonna get the tree to layer over top of the 3D stuff right there? Because it's an entire scene, an entire viewport just being rendered over it. I don't know. I might have to like do something with the compositor. Oh wait, I wasn't paying attention. It works. It's very fast though. So is there any way I could slow it down? I could turn this into a float display essence value. Display essence value plus equals E delta times 0.1 and then string round display essence value. Or just int. Int round? I don't know. Let's try this. Is it a float? It is. So it should be faster at first and then slow down as it approaches the correct value. Not seeing any enemies. Oh. Huh. That just give us 10? That's not supposed to happen. Why? Why are you doing that? I think I can move this down here. I didn't switch the value they give to 10, did I? It's 5. I can read numbers. Where did all the enemies go? What's going on? giving me 10. Why? Why are you giving me 10? And that one gave me 5. What? What is happening? That's 5. That's 10. That's 10. Is it calling it twice, maybe? Essence equals plus equals. Where's this happening? Replicate damage if health is less than or equal to 0. I guess it could be getting called twice. Hmm. And queued is queued for deletion equals false. Could be the secret value. Although, why would it call it twice? Why would it call it? I guess if we're colliding with it twice, that could happen. I feel like this is a pretty reasonable suspicion. Let's see. Let's see if it actually fixes it. Where are the enemies? Thank you. Okay, it's 5. Alright, I think it's working now. I might set the value instead of 0.1 to be like 0.01 or like 0.3. 0.03, I mean. 0.02. How about that? Yeah, we gotta start rewarding essence in other ways. And not just have a single counter. Okay. That works. It's happening a little slow. We might be able to add like some sort of weighted value between the sine and the delta. Cool. Alright, back to what we're actually supposed to be doing right now. Making the animation optional. Yes. So I'm not sure how to do this. I know ways I could do it, but I'm trying to think long term here a little bit, if possible. Thinking into the future. Where's the animator? I'm in the I can't find it. Where's the script? Where's the value that's supposed to be in the entity script? I can't find it for some reason. Animation tree equals get node root animation tree. Okay. So this could already throw an error if we just don't have the animation tree, which in the case of a barrel, you know, what can you do? Which is why we need behavior profiles. We can't just rely on these animations. So you know what? I'm going to comment out tree and keep our functions. But also like comment those out. If tree.tree root not equal null, comment that out. Let me get rid of all of this. I have backups. I can always go back in time if I want to. I like the layer system. I think the layer system will be helpful. Oh, get animation length. That one could be slightly problematic, but we're just going to return 1 for this. And then pass here. Or return. Then if I ever go to uncomment it, I know that this is supposed to, like, not be here. Set layer weight. Turn. Okay. That gets rid of pretty much everything. Which means our peasants will not be able to change animations now. Very unfortunate. However, it means we might be able to add barrel now. We love barrels. Yeah, so they shouldn't punch me anymore. Okay, cool. Okay, and it's good I said it's a 1 second, otherwise they would have just obliterated me instantly. Yeah, no matter how many, like, overlapping events we have here, we still get the correct amount of essence. Okay, we've pushed back the pure content creation phase for a while now, because we do have to work on some systems for a little bit longer, but it's fine. It'll be worth it. Adding a couple months to the development time. Okay, what else? Death particle. That we shouldn't need. Kind of already have something here, though. If death particle does not equal null, you see. Rotation snap, health, essence value. Dragon body 1. I guess we'll keep root for now, because, you know, like, we have it. Might as well. Need, like, a better system here or something. Yeah, we'll add a new entity type. Should I rename this to entity? We have entity shaders as well, apparently. Right, that's for, like, all the clothing modulation and stuff. Yeah, let me make a new folder here. I'm gonna call this barrel. It's barrel time. We're adding barrels. That's how you spell barrel, right? I have trouble sometimes with the amount, the quantity of R's and L's. I think I spelled it right, though. Cool. I think we have to make an inherited scene, which is fine. We don't need an animation tree, though. Yeah. However, if we delete it, then it's going to get rid of it on all the other nodes. Okay. Yeah. Didn't we also have a configuration of like the layers and stuff with that? Yeah, we might have. Probably did. Okay, I take it back. Might be too late. Might be too late to go back. No root animation node for the graph is set. Yeah, we don't have the root anymore. And we should probably redo some of this stuff anyways. Here, I'll delete this. Collision shape, root. Seem like things that all entities could have, for sure. Even like a candle. It's just that it doesn't have to have anything in the 3D side of things. Okay. Let's just make sure it's not broken. Even though we did get rid of the animation tree. It's just not animating now. Okay. All right. What? That's got to be happening somewhere else. Do we even want like a single scene where like everything inherits from? I don't know if we necessarily need that right now. Might just be able to get away with entity only and then figure out the rest of the stuff after the fact. Recursive find. It would be nice to have it ready beforehand though. We also have some editor scripts that we use. Oh, yeah. Do I want to keep doing the scene inheritance or no? Hmm. Yes. For now. For now. So yeah, let me make a new inherited scene from entity. Call it barrel. Wait, is this the scene? Scene. Entities. Barrel. Save it there. All right. And we are now going to make a thing. We're going to make a model, I think. That might take a while though. We should make it so we can get the visuals prepared. This is still part of the chemistry engine, technically. We're still working on it. Tool sets. Lizard 1. Where are the enemies? Let's make a new Blender file. Call it barrel. Where are the enemies? I actually kind of want to know that. Project, scene, entities, peasant, base. Oh my god. Why? Why would you do this? Okay, let's open up this file. While that's loading, let me go over to barrel. That's the wrong barrel. Tool sets. Open this up. This one's loading. Wait, I don't know. I don't know which is which. They both just say unsaved. Not responding. Not responding. Incredible. Okay. We're gonna make a barrel-sized barrel. I should just use a cylinder. A cylinder. Radius 16. Way too much. 4. 5. Depth 10. Depth 15. Depth 13. Depth 14. Okay. You go to the center. How does that look? That's pretty barrel-sized, I would say. Although we can have small barrels, large barrels, you know. All kinds of different barrels. Barrels are wonderful. We also have to account for the tile size. Because we spawn barrels right next to each other, we gotta, like, you know, keep that in mind. Is this supposed to correlate to the pixel sizes? Is that what's going on here? I guess. How many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that's not helpful. Okay. We'll make them this size. And I'm actually gonna model it in a different way. Probably mirror on the x-axis. No, just the z-axis. Okay. Make it very barrel-y. I could have used subdivide. What am I doing? Can I not smooth it out? Okay. Smooth vertices. Smooth the vertices. Smooth them, please. Okay. New plan. This is going to become a cube. We're going to subdivide twice. 3 times. We're going to do 3 times. Then take everything below here, delete that. Connect, select connection selection. And then flatten that out. Should I just use like a fan, triangle fan? Or even better, hold on. I have an ingenious strategy in mind, once again. Bring this down. Select the top faces, and then just grid fill. That is OP. We'll go with that. Turn both of these on. Make it merge. Scale it to represent the size. We're gonna do 2 cuts. And then what mode? We want to use sphere. Yep. Shade smooth, help. Why does it look like rectangular? Is it just because of the shading? Okay, well, this is probably fine. No, I think it is. Yeah. No, that doesn't look right. What the heck? Whoa. And then just, yeah, like, scale it back. This. It's smooth. Still looks rectangular at the top. What if I, like, mark sharp? I guess that improves it. Okay, I'm going to do something insane. Just make a manual adjustment. I know spheres better than computers do. I can do math I can do mental math faster than a computer. Okay, we want it to be aligned with, like, this would be the ground. The origin would be the ground, so we're going to we're going to apply the mirror modifier. We're going to set the origin to the bottom. Let me just get rid of the location, reset it. This will be our barrel mesh. I don't think I'm going to worry about texturing it right now. So let's export this. Export GLTF. Dough. Project. Scene. And or entities. Thank you. Barrel. Export. Did it work? Are we in? Beautiful. I can't. It looks like the normals might be off. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm gonna recalculate normals just in case. Mesh normals recalculate outside. Export. Yep. Okay, that looks better, I think. Now we have our wonderful barrel scene that we all love. Cannot instantiate the scene barrel as the current scene exists within one of its nodes. Oh, I dragged the wrong one. Okay, there we go. No, put that into root, please. Now, will this do anything if we replace all the peasants with barrels? Will anything happen? I am obliterating the mic right now. Main layer. Please work. Please do something. Probability rule. Let's multiply this by 3. I don't know how well it's going to perform. This could be also a good way to test if it's the collision that's slowing things down with our peasants. Yeah, we'll just put down the barrel. Rotation does not matter. Also, is it going to be isometric or top-down? I want the barrels to be top-down at first. But I also want them to be able to roll in certain situations. I kind of wonder how that would happen to begin with. Maybe if it receives like a force that's strong enough, I don't know. Or they could just start, rolled over, perhaps. Yeah, run project, let's see. Oh, there's so many barrels. Wait, they work. They're isometric, but that's fine for now. Oh my god, we can break the barrels for XP. That's funny. Should I make them larger? I think I should make the barrels larger. Maybe not. No, we're going to keep the scale consistent and then scale down the dragon if we need to. I think that's how we'll approach it. We have a bunch of barrels that slide around now. It's awesome. I need to make the... How are we going to make the rigid body thing work? The form, or whatever it's called. I should probably make this, the taper here. That's the right word. I should probably make it larger. Or more prominent. Or just make the entire barrel larger. Combination of the two. I think we'll make it a little bit larger. Okay, export. GLTF. Barrel. Go. Try again, please. That looks better. For sure. The barrels will be able to have things in them. Like water. Or anything else. Coal. Gunpowder. Oh yeah, a good suggestion. A good suggestion I saw. And one of the YouTube shorts I made was to add gunpowder, which is something... I was trying to think of like an explosive thing I could use. I was thinking like in the realm of like oil or gasoline or like some sort of something similar to that for like this fantasy setting. But gunpowder is actually a pretty good option. So you could have like gunpowder barrels as well. Some ideas. Some ideas there. Ideas are happening. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to end stream. We got the barrels working, so now I have something to start putting some of the chemistry stuff on or testing it. I might work on this a little bit more off stream. I'll try and keep the bulk of the content for on stream, but this is becoming increasingly more of a hybrid on and off stream kind of project. I will be live tomorrow at the same time, where I will be doing more work on this. We can actually start getting into some chemistry stuff, hopefully. But yeah, for today, I'm going to end it. So thank you, everyone who stopped in. Thank you, Fabio. Thank you, the fan Wiggles. I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, take care. See you later.